Christy! Are you okay?
If this is your first time on this channel, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more exciting stories. And let us know in the comments, what country are you watching from? Now, let's dive fully into the story. Rain was falling again that night. Soft at first, then louder, like the sky was crying too. I remember hearing the thunder far away, slow, deep, and lonely. The wind pushed against the window, and the curtains moved like ghosts in the dark. That was the night everything changed. Mama came home late, as usual. I could hear her heels clicking on the floor, fast and restless. She was calling my name, Christy! But this time, her voice sounded different, shaky, afraid. I wanted to answer her, I really did, but I couldn't. She rushed into my room. The lights flickered, showing the mess. My bed unmade, the small pink pillow on the floor, my favorite teddy fallen beside the chair. My phone was broken near the window, the screen cracked. The window itself was wide open, letting the rain fall on my school books. Mama froze. Christy, she whispered again. Then she started crying. Christy, God, please, bring my baby back to me. Her voice echoed through the house. She ran to the door, to the kitchen, to the hallway, but there was only silence. I could almost see her face in my mind, eyes wide, lips trembling, her red lipstick smudged by rain. She grabbed her head with both hands, whispering, No, this can't be true. The rain got heavier. The sound of it hitting the roof filled every corner of the house. She dropped to her knees beside my bed and touched the broken phone. It was cold. Her tears mixed with the raindrops on the floor. Mama, can you hear me? I whispered softly, but she couldn't hear me. The world between us had already changed. Somewhere in the distance, a car drove by, a dog barked, the lights flickered again. She stood up suddenly and ran outside, shouting my name into the storm. I wanted to reach her, to hold her, to say I was okay, but all I could do was watch from somewhere far away as she screamed my name again and again into the night. And that was the moment she realized I was gone. For real. The moment her world broke into pieces. By the next morning, her eyes were red and tired. She tied her scarf quickly, grabbed her bag, and rushed out of the house. I followed. Or maybe my spirit did. I just wanted to see what she would do next. She ran into the nearest police station, her clothes still damp, her voice shaking. Please, sir, I need your help. My daughter is missing, she cried. The officers looked up slowly, tired faces behind their desks. One of them sighed and said, Are you sure, madam? Maybe she just ran away. Girls nowadays do that all the time. Mama's eyes widened. No, not my Christy. She's only 16. She would never leave like that. The man shrugged. Oh, I see. You can come back tomorrow. Maybe she'll return by then. Mama's hands trembled. She clutched the picture of me she carried in her bag, the one where I was smiling in my school uniform. Please, officer, she begged softly. Just help me. Please find her. I will pay any amount. But they looked away without saying a word. Mama stepped outside slowly. The bright sun hit her face, but she didn't feel its warmth. Out of frustration, she sat on the ground behind the police station, covering her face. People passed by. Some looked, some didn't.
I could see her lips moving. She was praying. Jesus, please, please bring my baby back. Her voice was low, broken, but full of fire. That moment, something changed in her eyes. The fear turned into anger. The pain turned into strength. She stood up again, wiped her face, and said softly, "If they won't find her, I will." She started walking, not knowing where to go, but refusing to stop. From one station to another she went, holding my picture, showing it to strangers, asking if they had seen me. Some shook their heads, others walked away, but she kept moving. Her feet ached, her lips were dry. Still, she whispered my name with every step. "Christy, my baby, where are you?" The city moved fast around her, buses honking, people shouting, music playing from shops. But she was lost in her own storm, a storm that started the night I disappeared. And as the sun began to set again, I realized something. Mama wasn't just searching anymore. She was fighting a world that had already given up on me. She didn't know it yet, but her search had just begun. And so had mine.
That same night, when my mother was in pain, my best friend Gabby, the girl who deceived me and brought this problem to me, could not sleep. Her room was bright with blue and pink lights, but everything still felt dark inside her. She turned on her side, hugging her pillow tightly, but the sound of my laughter wouldn't stop echoing in her mind. Every corner of her room reminded me of me. The bracelets she gave me, the songs we danced to, the jokes we shared under the mango tree at school. She sat up suddenly, breathing fast. The rain outside had started again, slow, steady, tapping softly on her window. Her eyes went to the brown envelope sitting on her desk. It had been there since that night, untouched. Her hand shook as she picked it up. For a moment, she just stared at it. Then she opened it, and the sound of the paper tearing made her pull back. Inside were a few notes of money and a small folded paper with Kelvin's handwriting. She didn't need to read it. She already knew what it said. Her tears fell before she could stop them. She pressed her palm against her face and whispered, "Christy, I'm so sorry." Her voice broke. She tried to convince herself she didn't know how far things would go, that she never meant to hurt me. But deep down, she knew she had made a choice that night. And now that choice followed her everywhere. At school, she avoided our old bench under the mango tree. My chair beside her sat empty, quiet. She couldn't look at it without her chest tightening. Even our friends stopped asking where I was. They could see the guilt in her eyes. At night, her dreams turned into pictures she couldn't escape. She would see me laughing, then calling my name through the rain. She would wake up sweating, her heart racing. Sometimes she would run to her window, thinking she heard me outside, but there was only the rain. She started writing letters she never sent. Letters to me, to my mom, even to herself. Each one started with the same line, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." But no matter how many times she wrote it, it didn't change what happened. The guilt sat heavy in her heart, like a secret too heavy to carry alone. One evening, she stood in front of the mirror, looking at her own reflection. Her eyes were red, her face pale. She whispered to herself, "I can't live like this anymore. I have to make things right." She didn't know how yet, but one thing was sure, she couldn't keep quiet any longer. Late that night, the air was cold and full of secrets. I could almost hear Gabby's heart pounding as she walked through the narrow path that led to Calvin's hideout, a small house at the edge of town where music never stopped and strange faces came and went. She wore a long black hoodie, her hands shaking, but her eyes, they were full of fire. I watched from the shadows, unseen, my voice trapped in silence. Inside,
Kelvin sat on a broken couch counting money. His gold chain caught the dim light as if mocking her. When Gabi entered, he looked up, his smile sharp and careless. "What do you want again, Gabi?" he said, tossing another note onto the pile. She swallowed hard. "Please, let her go, Kelvin, please. Whatever this is, let's end it now. I can't sleep. I can't breathe knowing Christy's gone." He laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was low, empty. "Ha, let her go? How funny," he said slowly. "You think this business is a charity organization?" Gabi's eyes filled with tears. She opened her small bag and threw a brown envelope onto the table, the same one that haunted her for days. "Take your dirty money back," she said, her voice breaking. "I don't want it. I don't want anything from you." The sound of the envelope hitting the table echoed in the tiny room. Kelvin froze, his expression turning dark. He leaned forward, eyes cold. "You are playing with fire, Gabi. You think you can undo what's done?" Gabi's lip trembled. "I just want her safe, Kelvin. She's my friend." He stood up, tall and intimidating. "You better stay out of this," he warned, his tone firm. "You don't know who you are dealing with." Outside, thunder rolled in the distance. Gabi's tears mixed with the rain as she backed away, her heart breaking with every step. From where I stood, invisible to the world that had already forgotten me, I wanted to reach out and hold her, to tell her she was brave. But I couldn't. All I could do was watch her run into the storm, her sobs carried by the wind. And deep inside, I knew something darker was just beginning.
The next morning was quiet but heavy. The kind of quiet that feels like the world is holding its breath. The rain had stopped, yet the sky still looked sad, painted in grey. I watched from the window as a small figure stood by our front gate, her hands shaking, her eyes red and swollen. It was Gabi. For days, my mama, Agatha, hadn't slept. Her face was pale, her voice faint, and her clothes hung loose from her tired body. She barely spoke to anyone. Every knock on the door made her heart race, hoping it was me. But it never was, until now. When she opened the door and saw Gabi standing there, her breath caught. "Oh, Gabi, I didn't know it was you," she whispered, her voice trembling. Gabi nodded slowly, her lips quivering. She looked like someone carrying a mountain on her shoulders. "Auntie Agatha, I want to tell you something," she said softly, eyes filling with tears. Mama didn't say a word. She just stared, lost, broken, and waiting. Then Gabi dropped to her knees. "I'm so sorry, it's my fault. It's all my fault. I know where Christy is." The world seemed to stop. The clock on the wall ticked louder. Even the wind outside went silent. Mama took a step back, her eyes wide. "What did you just say?" she whispered, her hand clutching the door for support. Then Gabi began to speak. Her voice was small, shaky, filled with guilt that made her words come out in pieces. "I didn't mean for this to happen. Kelvin, he offered me money. He said it was just to scare Christy. I didn't know he would." "Stop!" Mama's voice cut through the room like thunder. She rose slowly, her eyes filled with pain and disbelief. "You took money for my child?" Gabi's face broke, tears streaming down like rain. "I swear, I didn't know it would go this far. I was greedy. I was stupid. Please, I'm sorry." Then it happened. A loud, heartbreaking sound. Mama's palm against Gabi's cheek.
The slap echoed through the small house. "You sold my child!" Mama screamed, her voice cracking. "You knew how much I love her. You watched me cry and you said nothing." Gabi dropped to her knees instantly, crying so hard her voice shook. "Please, Auntie Agatha, I'm sorry. I'll help you find her. I'll do anything. Please forgive me." Mama's hands trembled as she tried to hold herself together. "Tell me now, Gabi, where is she?" she demanded, her voice trembling but firm. "Tell me where my daughter is." Gabi's voice broke. She's not far. I can take you there." The room fell silent. Only the rain spoke. Gabi reached for Mama's hand, crying harder. "I promise I will find her," she said between sobs, "even if it takes my last breath." Mama looked at her, tears falling freely now. The anger faded, replaced by something fragile, shattered silence and broken hope. Just like any loving mother would. Mama didn't trust Gabi completely. Not yet. I could feel it in her every move. Careful, guarded, every word sharp as glass. But deep inside, she still carried hope. Hope that somehow I was still out there. By the next night, they made a plan. They started by visiting the small street behind the old market, the place where Kelvin's boys used to hang around. It smelled like dust, burnt rubber, and secrets. The moonlight barely touched the cracked walls, but Mama's determination shone brighter than anything else. "Shh! Keep your head down," she whispered to Gabi as they approached a group of men sitting by a car. "Stay here. I will go and talk to them," Mama said slowly. One of the men looked up, suspicious. "Stop there. What are you looking for?" he asked, his voice cold. Mama's hand trembled slightly, but she forced herself to speak. "My guy, relax. I come in peace. I just need information," she said, sliding a small envelope full of cash towards the man. "Her name is Christy, my daughter." The man exchanged a quick glance with the others. The air grew thick. Every second felt like an hour. Then he smiled faintly, not kindly, but in a way that said he knew more than he would admit. "People disappear every day, but we will try our best. I will pay you more. Any amount, just bring her to me," Mom added as they walked away. The next few days, Mama and Gabi moved like shadows, checking abandoned houses, old warehouses, even calling unknown numbers written on scraps of paper. Every time they got close, the trail went cold, but they didn't stop. Sometimes Mama would cry quietly at night, whispering my name, and Gabi would sit beside her, eyes full of guilt, whispering, "We'll find her, I promise." Even though the road was dark and the fear of failure followed them everywhere, something had changed. They were no longer enemies. They were two broken souls, walking the same road, bound by pain and a single promise: to bring me home.
Every sound echoed like thunder in the small, empty room where I was kept. The walls were cold, the floor dusty, and the rope around my hands rubbed against my skin. My heart beat fast, but I tried not to cry anymore. Tears had become useless. For days, I had counted the light that came through the tiny hole in the wall. Morning, afternoon, night, over and over again. I didn't know what day it was anymore. I just knew Mama was somewhere out there, searching. I could feel it deep inside my chest. That night, something changed. As I leaned back against the wall, my fingers brushed across something sharp, a tiny piece of glass lying close to the corner. I froze, staring at it. It glimmered faintly in the weak moonlight, small but real. Slowly, carefully, I dragged myself closer. The ropes were tight, but I twisted and turned until the glass touched the edge of the knot. My hands shook. My breath came fast. God, please help me. I can do this, I whispered to myself. I need to go home. Each scrape of the glass against the rope was rough and slow. My wrists hurt, but I didn't stop. The sound was soft, but in that quiet place, it felt loud enough to shake the air. I paused every few seconds, listening for footsteps. None came. Then I heard something else, a voice in my head. It wasn't fear. It was Mama's voice saying, "You are strong, my girl. You are brave." I kept cutting, a little more each time, whispering, "Just a little more." Finally, I felt the rope loosen slightly. My heart jumped. I bit my lip to stop from crying out loud. Hope, that tiny glowing thing inside me, began to rise again. I looked around the room. The door was locked, but there was a small window near the ceiling. Maybe, just maybe, I could reach it if I was free. I stared at the sky through the crack, dark but sprinkled with stars. Somewhere out there, Mama was looking at the same sky. I smiled faintly through the fear. "I'll see you soon, Mama," I whispered.
The night, something inside me told me change was coming. I didn't know how or when, but I could feel it, like the air before a storm. Somewhere far away, Gabi and Mama were searching. I didn't know that yet, but I could sense it. My heart always jumped when I thought about Mama's face, her tears, her voice calling my name. Meanwhile, Gabi was walking through danger. She stood outside Kelvin's black car, her hand shaking as she searched for something, anything that could help. The car smelled of smoke and cologne, and her heart raced with every sound. Then she saw it, a small silver key lying beside the seat, with a tag attached. On the tag was a number and a name written in blue ink, Unit 24, East Compound. Her eyes widened. She didn't know what was inside that place, but something deep in her chest told her it mattered. She quickly slipped the key into her pocket and ran to tell Mama. When Mama saw the key, she froze. Her eyes went wide like she just found a missing piece of a puzzle. "We're going there," she said firmly. Her voice had no fear, only strength. They moved fast through the dark city roads, their car lights cutting through the night mist. My mother's hands gripped the steering wheel tightly. Gabi sat beside her, scared but ready. Two women who used to be enemies were now bound by one mission: to find me. When they arrived, the place looked quiet, too quiet. A tall gate, old walls, and no sound except crickets. The air was thick with tension. They sneaked in slowly, hearts beating fast. The flashlight in Mama's hand trembled as it swept across the dusty compound. Then, a sound, a soft creak, like a door opening somewhere inside. Mama turned to Gabi. "We need to hurry." They moved through the hall, and that's when they saw it. My school bag, lying near the corner, half buried in dust. Mama dropped to her knees, holding it close, tears sobbing silently. That was the moment they knew I was close. But before they could move further, the deep sound of an engine echoed outside. Headlights flashed through the cracks in the wall. Kelvin was back. Mama's hand froze mid-air, and Gabi's face turned pale. The key slipped from her hand and hit the floor with a soft metallic clink. And in that moment, everything changed.
The air felt thick, heavy, and cold. Every small sound made me jump. Then, through the wall, I heard something. Soft footsteps, whispers. At first, I thought it was my mind playing tricks again. But then, A voice, faint, shaky, and familiar, called my name. Christy? Christy, are you there? My heart stopped. That voice, I knew it. It was Mama's. Mama! I cried out, my voice breaking. I tried to move, to shout again, but my throat tightened from shock. Tears filled my eyes. For a second, I didn't care where I was or who might hear. My mom was here. They ran toward the sound, pushing open the door. The beam of light hit my face and Mama dropped the flashlight. For a moment, she just stood there, frozen. Then she rushed to me, wrapping me in her arms. Mama, I missed you, I cried, burying my face in her shoulder. Her clothes were soaked, her hands trembling as she untied the ropes. I'm here, my baby, she whispered, her voice cracking. But before we could even breathe, a loud bang echoed behind us. The door slammed open. Kelvin stood there, angry, shocked, rain dripping from his jacket. Gabby, he said coldly, what have you done? Gabby stepped in front of us, shaking but brave. Let them go, please. You can take me instead. Kelvin moved forward, his voice deep. Move away now. Mama held me tighter. The rain outside roared louder. Then, a crash. Mama grabbed a broken plank from the floor and swung it hard. It hit the side of the door and Kelvin stumbled back. Run, Christy, she shouted. I ran toward the open door, the beam of light jumping wildly. Gabby pulled Mama along, and all I could hear were our breaths, our footsteps, and the pounding rain. Behind us, Kelvin groaned and tried to stand. We didn't look back. For the first time, I could see the moon again, blurry through the rain, but real. And that was the moment I knew we were finally free.
The sound of sirens filled the air. Blue and red lights flashed across the wet ground, mixing with the glow of the rain. Everything felt loud and blurry. People shouting, footsteps running, car doors slamming. Kelvin was on the ground, his hands behind his back. 2 officers pulled him up, guiding him toward their car. He struggled for a moment, his face full of shock and anger, but the sound of the rain drowned his voice. For the first time, he didn't look strong. He just looked tired. Mama stood in the middle of it all, still holding me close. Her hands were shaking, but she refused to let go. Her breath came in short gasps, her voice soft against my ear. It's okay now, my baby. You are safe. I could feel her heart beat against mine, fast, heavy, real. The smell of rain mixed with her perfume, and I closed my eyes, just listening. For the first time in what felt like forever, I wasn't scared. Then I saw Gabby. She stood a few steps away, watching us quietly. Her hair was soaked, her face pale, and there was a small cut on her arm. Blood mixed with the rain, dripping slowly, but she didn't seem to care. Her eyes were on me, not angry, not proud, just full of guilt. When our eyes met, she smiled weakly, tears running down her face. She whispered, I'm sorry, Christy. I never meant for it to go this far. I didn't know what to say. Part of me still remembered everything that happened, the fear, the silence, the dark nights. But another part of me saw the pain in her eyes and knew she had tried to make it right. Mama turned and looked at her too. For a long moment, no one said anything. The rain fell harder, soft thunder rolled in the distance, and the police car drove off slowly, carrying Kelvin away. The flashing lights painted the night like a movie, blue, red, across our faces. Gabby wiped her tears and turned as if to leave, but Mama called out softly, Wait, Gabby! She stopped, her shoulders trembling. Thank you, Mama said quietly, for helping me bring her home. Gabby nodded, crying harder now, and whispered, I just wanted to fix what I broke.
I took a deep breath and reached out my hand toward her. She looked at it for a moment, then slowly took it, her fingers cold and shaking. For a second, the world stood still. Just 3 of us under the rain, broken but breathing. The sirens faded in the distance, the wind softened. And in that quiet moment, I realized sometimes forgiveness doesn't come easy, but it heals louder than pain.